Hi, families. This is Sheryl from Tutoring with Sheryl and the Tech Coach for Tutors. In today's episode, I am partnering with Tina McMillan. She and I are doing a series of chats for educators and parents centering around different monthly topics. In this month's recording, where I am posting it in the Student Success Squad on the Tutoring with Sheryl podcast, we are talking about managing stress around the holidays. Tina from A-Typical Tutors has a document that we will be sharing with challenges or frustrations and then strategies that parents can use with their children on overcoming stress around the holidays. Myself, Tutoring with Sheryl, I also have something for you, and it is also a download. So we both have downloads, and we'll take you to those downloads where you can have these resources in your hands. My resources are for educators, parents, and kids alike on how to manage stress around the holidays. We hope that you find this helpful. It's Sheryl from Tutoring with Sheryl, and my guest today is Tina McMillan from A-Typical Tutors. Today, we are going to be chatting about social skills challenges, and Tina has put together an amazing document that we're going to share a portion of. She's titled it, The 4 Seasons of Social Skills Challenges and How to Strategically Guide Your Child. Tina, I am so excited to have you here. You've worked so hard on this document. We're really going to be focusing about challenges and strategies. So I'm actually sharing the screen today. Tina's going to maybe coach me on where to go. But Tina, I'm going to pull this down in the background so that they can see that there's a full table of contents: fall and autumn, winter, spring, summer. And we're going to hop down to the winter section. And Tina, for those people who have not found us yet on YouTube, do a quick introduction about who you are, and what you do. And I should probably do the same. I am a reading tutor who specifically helps students overcome any challenges that they have in their reading and writing skills. But many of my students are challenged with either behavior or they're on IEPs or 504 plans. And so I'm really following their programs at school. All right, Tina, take it over, do your introduction, and we'll get started because we have a lot to share today.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is Tina McMillan from Canada. Hello to everybody around the world, hopefully. And my company is called A-Typical Tutors, and I tutor kiddos that have some sort of diagnosis, if they're on the autism spectrum, if they have ADHD, dyslexia, some sort of a learning delay. I help kids with that. And I also have a behavioral background, so I can deal with those behaviors as well as tutor at the same time. So I'm kind of a double whammy, if you will. And today we're going to discuss the holiday season, winter in general, and the different events that happen during this time of year, and how our kiddos that maybe don't quite understand everything that's happening, how they can better get through it. And that helps everybody. It helps the parents, it helps the teachers, it helps your family. Everybody can benefit from this information that we're going to share today. So I really hope you tune in.
Yes, and if they like what they hear, we want them to like and subscribe and share. We also, yes. Hold that up.
Like, subscribe, and share. 3D. Ooh. Anybody knows SCTV? Ooh. 3D. There we go.
I love it. And, let's start a conversation. We're happy to answer questions. We're both going to be hosting this on our YouTube pages. We'll share those with you at the end. But let's get started with these holidays that we see here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the introduction. You are amazing. I aspire to be as professional sounding as you are. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I'll work on it.
You're doing great. And thank you for the compliment. Here we go. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and we'll move forward.
And holidays. So what I've done, I kind of separated out on the left column with this kind of sad faces are the challenges that everybody can face, not just the kiddos. And on the right side, the happy faces are the strategies you can apply. So on the left, we've got hidden rules, maybe not really understanding why are we giving this stuff away? Why are we wrapping it? Why can't we just give it to them? Maybe they don't understand that concept. And then next part is unexpected versus expected behaviors, because there's always that as well. And the hidden rules actually that I just mentioned, because you don't always know what the rules are especially maybe regarding a tradition in your family or someone else's family. You don't know. And sometimes you don't feel comfortable enough to ask, why are we doing this? What's going on? I don't understand. And
Right. Do you want to keep going on the you know, the hidden part or the difficulties, or do you want to talk about each one and then talk about you know, the strategy that they can use? Do we want to back up and go up
yeah,
to
I'll
the
back
hit
up. Yeah.
to
Sometimes
the
I tend to ramble. Sorry.
that's okay. Let's focus on those hidden rules. I think that's great. I've got a granddaughter who she just turned 4. Last year was a little tricky for her. This year she kind of gets it. But you know, well, why can't we open up the presents today? And why are we shopping for that person? I thought that was for me. I think that is great. I love the idea of talking about, you know, the cultural significance behind the gift and why we're giving the gift. What would that look like for you, either as a tutor or a parent?
Exactly. And different cultures, as you said already, maybe have different expectations in terms of what gifts they consider a gift. Some cultures might find it an insult, so you got to be careful there too. And also perspective taking, that's another social skill that can falls into this realm as well. So putting yourself in someone else's shoes and saying, well, how would you react if somebody gave you that? Do you know what I mean? And it's really good to have these conversations, especially if you're celebrating with different people that you know from all around the world. Our world is getting smaller and smaller every day. So
It
definitely,
is. It is. And then, you know, I celebrate Christmas, but I can't say Merry Christmas to everybody because guess what? Not everybody celebrates Christmas. Now, I might put Merry Christmas on the cards I send out because that's my tradition, but I receive cards from people who celebrate Hanukkah and it says Happy Hanukkah, and I love it. And I've got a student that celebrates Hanukkah. So we talk about that as we're going through, you know, this holiday season. What are you getting ready for Hanukkah? What's happening? You know, tell me a little bit more about it. And I learned from those students. Let's go down to those unexpected and expected behaviors involved in the giving and receiving of gifts. What are the strategies that we can kind of overcome? Like they open up a gift, they're like, I didn't want that. I didn't like what is this?
absolutely. I think the best way to deal with this kind of situation is to role play, is to wrap something up. Maybe I would do 2 packages. One package of something you know your kid's going to like, maybe a toy that they actually play with right now, and you've taken it, you've hidden it away, and you've wrapped it. And then take something that you know they're not going to like, wrap that. Wrap them exactly the same if you can, so there's no differences. And then they're going to open it and then see their reaction and then discuss it. So why were you upset about that, getting that rock? Do you know what I mean? If that's what you chose, because unless the kid really likes rocks, then you can pick something else, obviously, if they're into geology. So anyway, let's say they're not. Then you can have that conversation and say, well, this is what you can do if you get something that maybe you don't like. These are some of the things that we say so that we don't hurt someone else's feelings, because they went to the effort to wrap that for you and they really thought you were going to like it. They were wrong, but they didn't know that at the time. They weren't intentionally trying to upset you. So you got to remember that. So
Yeah. Yes. And I think that's really important. If you have a child who is on the spectrum and has, you know, wherever they might fall, maybe autistically or even behaviorally, you really need to think about that and have those conversations about, you know, if you don't like it, you shouldn't say anything. You just say, thank you. I appreciate you thinking of me. And, you know, maybe play with it while you're in the area, but we can always at some point, you know, share it with somebody else who is maybe less fortunate. So really teaching gratitude, I think, is really important. So many, our kids get so much, and sometimes they just don't feel gratitude for what they get. And so really teaching that, I think, is important. Let's move on to the next one. Not recognizing how stress affects family and friends during the holiday. Okay.
absolutely.
What are the strategies there?
This is a huge one, I find, because everybody presents stress differently, from children to adults. Everybody is different. So some people even like the stress. I don't know who these people are. I think we should hunt them down. But anyway, I don't appreciate them because I'm like, no, I get stressed out and this is what I do. This is this is the holidays for me. It's stress. That's just, I've accepted it, but not everybody is in that frame of mind. So, and how it looks like to everybody else. Some people maybe get headaches. Some people just feel depressed because maybe they don't have family members with them anymore for whatever reason. Or maybe they moved away and they're not close to their family anymore. That kind of a thing that can help, attribute to it. Maybe they just have aches and pains, or they don't have any motivation, or their memory is not as good as it used to be, or they can't focus or concentrate as much as they did.
Yeah.
Plus, if you think of kids, they're not in school, so their routine is kind of up in the air too. So their days are going to be different. They don't know what's going to happen during that day as much as we prepare them. They're still kind of used to their routine to go to school and see their friends, and they're not seeing their friends. So that makes it difficult too. It's hard to get together over the holidays sometimes. So definitely, perspective taking comes back into it, teaching patience, and just thinking of ways you can help your child, maybe help somebody else out of the way that they're feeling, to get them in a bit more of a happy spirit, maybe making something for them, giving something for them. It doesn't even have to be something you buy. It could be a book of coupons that I've encouraged kids to make, where I'll give you 1 hour of house cleaning. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. Oh my gosh. Sign me up.
yes, exactly. I'll treat you to, a movie. Doesn't have to be in the theater. We'll download one. I'll make the popcorn. You chill. I got a blanket for you, whatever comfy stuffy you want to have with you. And I will devote my time to you for those 2 hours or however long that movie is. And we're going to have a blast.
I love that. And, I have a document that I will attach to this. And in my document, it's not as pretty. She does a very nice artwork. But my document really focuses on some things that the kids can do, as far as movement, sleep, eating. Let's keep those health strategies in mind too. Time together is great, but like, what are you going to leave your child to eat if you still have to go to work during the course of the days that they're off from school? Let's think about mindful eating, sleeping, not staying up all night playing those video games. Spending time with family is great, but if all we're doing is eating junk food, I can guarantee you're going to see some spikes in behaviors that you don't want to see. So, apples, carrots, celery, whatever you're culturally going to be eating, I think about on the healthy side of it, and not just the sweet side. All right, we're moving on. Not understanding why we give gifts.
Oh, I just want to have one comment to the last thing you said about nutrition, and lead by example. If the parents are eating all this crappy junk food, then your kids are going to eat all this crappy junk food. So they're going to say, well, why should I do it if you're not doing it? So lead by example if you can. I get it.
Yes.
Definitely indulge, because this is the season to do it. But you got to be mindful of your health too, because if you're freaking out over something that maybe you wouldn't normally do, then your kids are going to freak out over something they maybe wouldn't normally do.
Yeah. And as adults, we think about all those empty calories that we're consuming that we might just absolutely love. But on the other end, a month later, when your pants don't fit, then you're going to go to a lot more work, and that's just going to add more stress. So yes, I think the mindfulness of that's really important. Okay, we're going to move on. Not understanding why we give gifts.
Yes, some people, mostly children, I would say, would be the population I'm talking about here. Maybe kids don't understand why we went to the store. We spent all this money and all these toys that I really like, but then I don't get to keep them. I have to wrap them and give them to someone else. What's that about? That doesn't make any sense, because you don't know if you're going to get the same thing back, right?
Right.
So wait a minute. Oh, another thing actually with this conversation would be a perfect opportunity to talk about money and how money works, and why we're spending money. And maybe the kids want to spend their own money on something, and how much things cost now, which is a bit more than they used to, honestly. Oh. So that's a great opportunity as well. Everything's always like a learning moment in my world. So, but that might irritate people. I don't know.
No, I totally agree with you, because they don't see the paper money. They see the card you're swiping. Or, there's some people who probably do that. Or maybe you're writing a check, but they really don't understand that. So honestly, giving them some money to spend on a gift and letting them see exactly how far that goes, they will be very shocked. If you gave them a $10 bill and said, go find a gift for somebody, they'd have to look a long time.
Right. Unless
for that $10 gift.
Store.
Yeah, this is true. Wait, is it quantity or quality you're looking for? But yes, very true. I love that. Okay. Is there anything else? I see you say smart guest technique. Can you embellish on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's like I'm trying not to set the kids up for failure. So I want them to make a smart guess because we don't always know the answers. We make guesses about stuff all the time, but I want them to use their brain in when they're making that guess and not just like randomly blurting out purple. You know what I mean? Well, that has nothing to do with what I asked you. I want you to think about the question and think about your answer. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. There's in a lot of cases there's no right or wrong answer. I just want them to think about a situation that maybe they haven't considered before. So that's really my version of what a smart guess. And
Yeah, it kind of leads on to your next challenge, those social skills with those conversations. And when they get with a group of people, sometimes they don't speak appropriately or respond appropriately.
exactly.
I see you saying smart guesses over there again. So the challenge is those social skills, conversing with maybe people you're unfamiliar with, or handling large crowds. Some kids can't handle large crowds, and then their behaviors act up. So I like how you say practice observing how others ask and answer questions. That is really important. Role playing, I think, is really important. What are your ideas?
Oh, you covered so many of them. That's great. And just having a conversation about the situation you're going into, especially if you're going into someone else's house that is from a different culture, different ethnicity even, and they're dressing differently than you would normally see them. And so they're going to wonder, wow, what are they wearing? So to kind of avoid maybe those uncomfortable moments, though, they are going to happen, and those are teachable moments as well. Hopefully the people have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, yeah. And that also goes right along with people who are in wheelchairs or are using crutches, or maybe they're blind and they have a service dog or a cane. I mean, taking any moment, you have to remember, and I don't know if I've said it with you, Tina, but I know I've said it in other places where I've recorded things. You are your child's first teacher. Do not expect the school to teach your child everything that they need to know in social situations. It is up to you to do it. So yeah, having observe and discuss or practice, or there's a lot of really great books in the library around those types of things. Take advantage of that, read the book and talk about it. We want to stay on track here. We're to New Year's. And so the struggle could be, why do we celebrate this day and what does it mean? So let's move on to New Year's Day.
Absolutely. And I think a good conversation is talking about our past and how and why we celebrate the new year and what that means. What is a new year? It means the old year is done, whatever number it happens to be, and we're going to the next number. And that's how we live our lives. We're all about the calendar and time. It's super important in our lives. So I think the sooner a child can understand that concept and that we only have a birthday once a year, we don't have
Yeah.
it every month.
I think they would like that. Don't you think they'd like that? Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know. I have a student that I do would you rather questions with. And the question was, would you rather have a birthday every month or twice a year? And he picked twice a year.
Okay. That would definitely make it special, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
along with, understanding the passage of time, I like how you said, who is Father Time and Baby New Year? And what are resolutions? I think that's great because this is a very abstract concept for young children. When they go to school every year, they'll talk about New Year's resolutions and why that's important, but homeschoolers might not think about that. Or maybe your child just has a hard time kind of understanding this because, who is Father Time and where is this baby we should be looking for? So talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. That's just what, the names we've given to help us understand the passage of time. And I think more for children as well, so they can have something to visualize. And I would kind of break it down into the way, maybe not necessarily use resolution when you're talking to children, but maybe say, what's one thing you wish you were going to be better at this year than last year? Maybe it's hockey. Maybe it's being able to skate for longer times. Maybe it's to score a goal or score more goals, whatever it might be, any sport kind of a thing. Something you want to do better this year that you're going to maybe focus on. And, we know from our experience, whenever we have a resolution by the end of January, it's done. And that's okay, because that's normal as well. It's very typical. So I wouldn't worry about that. We can always remind each other. How about you make a pact? You remind me that I wanted to focus on this year, and I'll try to remind you wanted to focus on that this year. And it can be like a team effort, and you have some accountability, and you can make it like a team thing.
Right. And every year with my own students, we always talk about what, and it's funny that yours says back to school again, because I always start in January. Here's our document. We're going to write down
we always reflect on what did we do really well this year, like from the begin. I usually just use from the beginning of the school year till now, because my kids, thinking back a whole year is kind of hard. Now from here, where do we want to go forward? So what is one goal you and I can work on, and what is one goal you can work on with maybe your friends or your family? And then they work on typing it out. We might add a picture, and then I share it with their family, because I think it's really important that they are thinking. It's like a self-analysis, like, what do I want to get better at? And then I tell them what I want to do. And then occasionally I'll say, hey, you mentioned that you wanted to become a better writer. We've been working on this. What have you noticed about your writing? And you mentioned that you're having problems, with your friend on the bus. How's that going? Have you tried some of the strategies that we've been practicing? Is it improving? Great. And then you move on. So let's talk a little bit about your back to school. I probably took a little bit out of that, but you start with routines, routine changes, transitions, rigidity due to holiday schedules, sleeping in, visiting family and friends, eating higher calorie foods and drinks, and your solution.
I know some of the kids I've worked with are actually looking forward to going back to school, because then they go back to see their friends for one thing, and they go back to their routine, which then they know what to expect, and it's not so crazy and all over the place, and maybe less emotions are flying around because of Christmas and all those other things that happen. You're seeing your relatives that maybe you only see once a year, so that's always challenging. Like, what are you talking about? What's new? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And don't wait until the night before to have your child back on their school year sleep habits. If you've been letting them stay up till midnight, and then you think they're going to stay up till midnight before the Monday or the Tuesday that they return, that is a recipe for failure. They are going to be completely undone. So, just think about that. I like your little thing here where it says, will your child wear any new clothes they received? Here's the thing. Your child might be wearing new clothes, but there's other kids that maybe didn't get a gift. And so when we say, I like your next one, that is the challenge, what to say when asked, how was your holiday? Some kids had a horrible holiday. So what I like to do, and I always say this, even in my sessions, tell me about the best part of your day. So you could say, tell me about the best part of your time away from school. You don't even have to mention Christmas. Some families don't even have enough money to pay for Christmas. Or a Hanukkah or whatever, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you're referring to over this holiday season. So be a little bit aware of that, but even the kids need to be a little bit aware of that. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if I'm thinking of a teacher setting in a classroom, if you're asking that maybe the class as a whole, how was your holiday? Can you think of one thing? I would maybe have them write it down rather than give them the option to share with the class. Not everybody would want to share their, what happened to them with the classroom, for fear of, being judged. That's what we do. We're humans. We judge each other. So I would maybe recommend drawing a picture, or if they're younger, and maybe writing about it and then submitting it, just on their own, or they don't even have to submit it. It's just whatever, just getting it out of their head and then move on to the next thing and get back to their routine.
Right. Now this document that you have is quite lengthy, and it goes through basically the whole year, but I want to show your website and where people can get that. So this is the A-Typical Tutors. We will have this in the description. And then this link right here is where you can get that download. I think it's great. It walks you right through everything that you need to know. And then also you can learn more about Tina. So you can go on here, and she and I have partnered together a couple different times. This is, I think, our third partnership, and we're building out our YouTube channels. But before I get to that, I am going to also share my document. So let me just share this tab and get back up to the top, because I was sharing it with you. So this is actually a picture of me with one of my tutoring students online. Oh, you don't see it, so let me share it. Hang on, I forgot to share this tab. Let's go back in. Did they see your website? Did they see it, or did I forget to share that? I hope they saw it.
I did, but I don't know if they did.
If you saw it, they saw it. Okay, because I was like, oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so here is this document that I have created, and I have tabs on the side. So this is all about strategies educators, parents, and kids can use. So you can go through here and just print what you want. I will share it as a copy to you. So you just download it into your tab or into your drive, and then you can have access to it there. I have to get over to the document so that I can click. This is just the welcoming to Tutoring with Sheryl and my information about the Tech Hub for Tutors. So that's free. All you have to do is just click the link in here. And then I wanted to share Tina's YouTube. Oh, I'm clicking a lot, so I'm struggling here. But here is your page and the videos that you have. And you actually, there's probably more. You've got one playlist and some videos. And so I think this was our last one. We were talking about parent-teacher meetings and how they were kind of the same and different. And then I will go over to, this is the playlist on the Tutoring with Sheryl YouTube page. And I'm putting these under the Student Success Squad, but you can see my whole page, view your channel right over here. And those are all of the things that I've been sharing. So we're just sharing information for parents and tutors and, maybe even a kid. If there's an older child who's kind of struggling, this might be for you. So that's kind of all that we wanted to share. We are going to be meeting monthly and sharing out information with you, and we will include everything. Go ahead and say that, Tina.
Subscribe, like, share, give us a thumbs up, please. It helps our channel a lot.
Yes, and leave your comments, and we're happy to respond. Okay, that's all I have today. Tina, anything else?
No, thanks everybody for listening. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Have an amazing time and enjoy spending time with your family, I hope.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. You make it a great day and keep the learning going.